Haven't you heard that the culture wars are over? Just months after Pat Buchanan warned delegates at the 1992 Republican National Convention that a culture war was being waged for the soul of America, neoconservative columnist Irving Kristol remarked, "I regret to inform Pat Buchanan that those wars are over and the left has won." In 1997, New York Times reporter Janie Scott said the term culture wars has become as anachronistic as a leisure suit. Some of you who are as old as I am will remember that reference. Culture warriors had arrived, she said, at Appomattox. More recently, in a 2015 book, intellectual historian Andrew Hartman wrote that culture wars are history. The logic of the culture wars has been exhausted. The metaphor has run its course. A week ago, I was in Spain visiting my daughter, and whenever anyone heard that I was from the United States, they asked me about Donald Trump. Or as one man called him, El Loco. Why is a businessman so obsessed with Mexicans, Muslims, and menstruation? Or to put it more broadly, why in the midst of runaway economic inequality and the threat of global warming are Americans so obsessed with immigration and Islam and abortion and homosexuality? Why is the 2016 presidential election shaping up as a culture wars election? This book started a few years ago during the Ground Zero Mosque controversy, this controversy about whether a Muslim gentleman who owned a skyscraper near Ground Zero could retrofit it to become an Islamic cultural center. And I was sort of naively and foolishly surprised and disappointed that mainstream political figures on the right were somehow opposed to this project when it seemed to me that two bedrock principles of conservatism, religious liberty and private property rights, were arguing very forcefully for his ability to do just what he wanted with the building. And so I started to look back on the history of these sorts of battles, in this case, battle over Islam, and I look back at what I now call the contemporary culture wars, the culture wars of the 70s and 80s and 90s, about things like abortion and homosexuality. And then, historian that I am, I decided I had to look back farther still to make sense of the Ground Zero Mosque controversy. And that's how this book came about, and that's when I discovered one of the arguments of my book, which is that the culture wars are perennial in American history, as American, in fact, as apple pie.